Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Sporia Campaign. Last time we turned our attention southward towards the Carpathian provinces at the southern edge of the Vistula region, with Carpathia and Subcarpathia. Now we have fully secured Carpathia, though at the cost of accidentally wiping the local mountain tribe from the face of the earth. Didn't mean to do it quite that way, and we didn't manage to get any extra money from that, but we got the land in the end, which is quite nice, including this very interesting double mountain pass gold territory, which I did check this, actually does count both mountain pass modifiers separately, and they seem to stack on each other. So that's pretty interesting, and this may be a very powerful defensive territory, though I probably want to make it a gold mine more than a fort. We'll see what we do later on. I'm not going to commit to anything right now, but I do want to note that this Ibadura settlement is quite interesting. Now over in Subcarpathia, we still have a little bit of territory to grab, though having thought it over, I could continue doing regular colonizations. I just don't think this is really worth it. This would be 1,000 manpower to do both, and I'd have to do quite a bit of pop micro to get these set up in order to have enough pops to work with for regular colonization, which I'm certainly able to have a discount for with my country. But if I'm going to do the pop micro, I may as well just do a migration, which will be, I think, ultimately more efficient on my resources. Now, I will generally prefer to spend manpower over stability, but with the enormous amounts of migration cost reduction I have going on right now, the difference in impact on me, especially in an emergency situation, that a few stability points versus 1,000 manpower would be, it's just too much. So I'm going to just hold off on trying to deal with this until I have another migration going, particularly a min-maxed migration with 20 migrators. I'll just send 3 down here. If there was more local population already, and this was like 5 and 4 or something, maybe I would do it this way, because then I don't have to commit as much population, because I don't think colonization takes into account the local population the way that migration settlement does. But I just wanted to note that I've thought this through, and I'm going to hold off on this until I have a migration going. Now, having looked at the broader situation a little bit before I hit record, I've concluded that I want to go to war with Nuria, and it's specifically over the Verdant settlement over here in Bassetia, which I need in order to progress my mission. I need to grab Making Gains, which will require that. This will then let me immediately get Consolidated Bassetia. Then I can, by coincidence, just get favoritism immediately because Saule, my southern governor, is from the Zhaotao Titus family, which I didn't plan. It just happened to work out that the mission had one of these two be the correct family, which can sometimes be annoying to deal with when it's not. And then I can just grab Triumph in Vestulia. Now, this will hilariously give me a city at Solitarium. We're going to be revoking that city immediately, but we will get a city, and that's unavoidable. I have to get this in order to finish the mission, so no getting around it. I could also wait and get this for a little bit of extra PI, and I certainly would like to. So perhaps it's worth, even if I grab this, waiting a little bit and then doing a migration just to grab the stuff, to then grab this, just so that's concluded. Wouldn't mind getting the 15 PI, especially with my terrible PI gain right now. We'll see what ends up happening. I kind of want to get through this mission so I can get another mission, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if it makes sense to take more from Nuria in the war. I know I'm talking as if I'm looking at the peace deal right now, but I basically am already looking at the peace deal. I'm just thinking 1 to 2 episodes ahead when I have the peace deal in front of me, because I know I'm going to beat Nuria. It's not a matter of can I beat them, it's a matter of why and how do I annex different parts of them, and how does that lead to the next phase, the next sort of stage of the campaign in terms of expansion. Now, I do still have quite a bit of Venetia to expand into, and this is my home region, so it makes sense to focus on Venetia, especially because I'm finishing up my gradual expansion throughout Vestulia, and I can, as mentioned last time, focus on some of these defensive leagues over here for a very efficient series of wars and annexations. I do still have a lot of AE, and I'm a bit nervous about a big peace deal putting me back in that above 50 AE area and basically recreating the diplomatic problems I had. Now, I'm not particularly scared of any very, very powerful, like scary, great powers around me going to war with me because of that. I'm, for example, no longer scared of Nuria. I can definitely beat Nuria just one-on-one. I definitely have the numbers, and I feel like I can work around. In fact, I think we actually just have the same levy. We're the same culture group. We have the same levy as each other. Nothing to worry about there. But I am a bit concerned about some of the other people, to kind of get back to that bigger question of what happens and how I handle the Nuria peace deal further into Borsenthia, because it comes down to this question of, okay, I will for sure take Verdant. Will I take more of Nuria, such as the rest of Nuria, right? And I'm not sure about that, because entering into Borsenthia, there's two main problems with that. Number one, well, there's also a big bonus for that. The big bonus is more population to work with for migration min-maxing. But the first big problem is a new governor. And while things have gone fine with Saule so far, let's remember she has 2 loyalty traits, and I still have felt a little nervous sometimes about her power base. I mean, look at this 50 power base as a tribe. It's crazy. And with my loyalty cap as a tribe, I have to kind of stay on the knife's edge a little bit with loyalty. Now, I've put the work in to get things under control with her, mostly through free hands, which I would like to revoke. In fact, I perhaps should do sanctions on her. I could sanction her now. I could have actually done this when her corruption was a little lower as well, but it's not the end of the world. I could sanction her now, lose the loyalty, although I guess the loyalty loss doesn't scale, so it might be more efficient to wait to do it, but then it's also like I'm spending more tyranny that's scaled with the corruption. It doesn't matter. I could do this now. Keep her on free hands. She goes down to 49 loyalty. She also has revoked free hands already, and I have her on free hands again, so I think I'm going to do this. I don't want to replace her. I think she's fine where she is, but I am going to go ahead and revoke free hands. If she has, I think with 2 loyalty bonuses, as long as I keep her corruption sort of in check, we should be fine. And is her corruption affecting her loyalty? No, but it is probably affecting the provincial loyalty around here. Let's see, governor corruption minus 0.04. That's enough where I think this is worth doing. Let's go ahead and impose sanctions on Saule. There we go. It's at 45. I guess it rounded down, or I don't know why actually it did that. Oh, my tyranny went up. That's right. So it's a bit more than it looks. That's fine. Okay, there we go. We're going to keep her on free hands for now. I don't think I can get rid of it safely without endangering everything. But yeah, so now that we've dealt with that, you can sort of see why I'm nervous about another governor. Though the Borsenthia governor wouldn't start off with nearly as much power base as she has, and I can just handpick someone from my character pool who has good loyalty traits and good finesse. Especially because as a tribe, my governors aren't leading troops really ever, except for my main tribal chief, who's also the national leader, not just a governor. So perhaps it's fine to enter Borsenthia, but can I take, for example, these 2 provinces and maybe the rest of their territory to tag delete them without going over 50? For sure not. But is it still worth it to go over 50? Well, then I'm bordering Budinia, who has, let's see here, let's round to maybe 90 to 100 Budinians. I'd probably be fine one-on-one against them. They do have a tributary, but the tributary won't join them. These guys up here are not as scary as they look. They're quite large, but they don't actually have as much population as they look like they should. They're very, very decentralized. But the real scary power nearby is now Scythia. Now, Getia is still scary, and I am scared of Getia. I do border their new march, Miram, but I don't think Getia is going to be aggressive towards me unless they get a claim on me. I don't think they're going to fabricate a claim on me themselves. I don't think I'm a natural expansion route for them, especially until they border me directly and they get more of Scythia. But speaking of Scythia, I should say the Scythia region. But speaking of Scythia, the Scythia tag is the scariest one over here. These guys have the largest population in the area. Of course, there are some larger tribes further out. Yangkai is nightmare fuel, but let's not even look over at that. I'll leave them for later. I can't deal with the thought of that right now. But Scythia is scary enough, and if they were to integrate those Sarmatians, which they really should, we'd be in real trouble. I can't even tell if they've done that or not, if they were to do that. But they at least have around 170, if you include the Hellenic Scythians, who could very easily, especially with their cavalry-oriented levy composition, cause me serious problems. Now, taking Endurian territory wouldn't put me on a border with Scythia, but it would put me closer to Scythia. Now, Scythia does border the Borsenthia region, and they're not currently in it, so maybe this is fine, and maybe I can still avoid a showdown with Scythia, keeping in mind that as I get population, I can very quickly increase my population size through the micro I've done so far. So maybe I'm just being overcautious, but this is very hard difficulty. I should not be over ambitious where it could endanger the campaign, and a war with Scythia before I at least match them in population is the sort of thing that could destroy the campaign. So perhaps it makes sense to instead just grab Verdant from Nuria and turn our attention towards grabbing more of Vistula and Venetia. I think that's probably not the worst idea, especially because I'd like to get more, get the rest of the Istians at least, and also get more of these people who I can grab. Also get more Wera territory. Basically, just get more population who, I guess it doesn't matter ultimately because I'm going to be migrating with them anyways. Yeah, I think, at least for the sake of regional cohesion, grabbing the rest of Venetia and Vistula is a bit more important than entering Borsenthia. I think in general, Borsenthia is probably the next region I aim for after I get more Venetia and Vistula. I think I probably want to enter Borsenthia once I have another 50 to 100 population, just so I'm not as scared of Getia and less scared of Scythia at that point. So, having talked through all that, let's go ahead and do our Omen. Let's see here. I would like to switch some of these gods, and perhaps now is the time to do it. I do have some stability available. I also want to do a migration though, and let's see. Migrating to grab this stuff would allow me to acquire Subcarpathia, which would be quite nice. I also needed the War Council. Let's see. I got Cyrna last time for the Tribesman Happiness. Could just grab that again. Let's see. Zajinkos for the movement speed could be interesting for the next 10 years, but I don't think this is ultimately worth it. I also want to stick with Wera. I think switching over to Perennos for the plus 0.02 monthly stab change now might be fine. Though, if I'm going to spend 15 stability, I'd probably prefer spending it on a law change. Those are going to generally be better. I have to have the PI for that, though, as well. That's right. Lipa, I'd perhaps keep. I think I switched this, though, to Protokos. Let me check on the war deities. I think Wilkos is definitely the one to switch to. National manpower will be really good for me with my tribesmen. Lots of manpower coming in. Although assault ability is really interesting. I'm not going to have access to a lot of traditions or texts that give me assault, so having a bonus for this could be quite good. And the Omen Enslavement is a little interesting as well, though pretty situational. I think this is interesting, but I think Vilkos is probably just better overall. Is it better enough to switch to it now? I also don't mind having fort maintenance. I think economically, I think I'm okay to switch now. I don't think I need the fort maintenance that much. I think I do want the manpower, and I want to have Omen Morale available to me at least in 5 years. I think it's 5 years? At least in a couple of years. Yeah, it'd be 5 years, because that's whenever I do the Omen tick. Okay, let's go ahead and grab Vilkos. It's 15 stability. This will improve our trend. Because we have such bad trend with our AE, this will at least be a good use of it right now. Alright, there we go. No more stab expenditures for now, that's for sure. As for what I select for this 5-year tick, probably Cyrna again. What's my ratio? Oh yeah, 64% tribesmen. It's mostly tribesmen and slaves. Slave happiness is not going to be a huge difference except for provincial, or except for unrest is what I should say, and provincial loyalty from unrest. So I think tribesmen happiness is the way to go. Yeah, I don't think I have any food issues anywhere. Let's see. Yeah, even with this mod making food more important, it's still pretty hard to actually have food issues unless you have really built up cities, which in this campaign I won't. All right, let's go ahead and grab Cyrna once again. And I guess because it was in the footage that was lost previously, I'll just read it now. Before dawn, at the edge of the lake, where the mists still curl over the surface of the water and the grasses are heavy with dew, Cyrna the deer drinks deeply. There's a noise in the forest, and without warning, Cyrna vanishes. go. Okay, and now I think we want to quickly check and see our offices, I guess. How are we looking? You, it's time for free hands. You, it's time for free hands. With all their statesmanship, I'm going to wait another 10 years, maybe 5 years, 5 to 10 years before I switch on out with all the statesmanship built up. Yeah, I don't want to move some of these people out. Okay, this is pretty much the best I can hope for, I think. Are you... You're influencing still. Okay, good. In 10 years, you're going to stop. I need to remember that. Otherwise, all of you look fine where you are. You all have the traits. That's good. Any fires I should be concerned about? After the tick, it might get worse because of my low stability, but I think for now we're fine. I'm just going to trust these guys to... I'm not going to spare the PI. I need to save the PI to grab... Actually, when is my Divine Sacrifices? I think I just renewed it recently. 64. Okay, we have about almost 5 years of Divine Sacrifices, so I think we're okay, actually. Alright, I'm still going to save my PI for now, just in case. Alright, let's go ahead and do our... let's go ahead and do our War Council. Here we go. War Council assembles. The gruff voices barking over the sound of carousing outside yields an atmospheric setting for the latest meeting of the Sporic War Council. In attendance are several of the Council's most well-respected members. Gwen Tautus, the author of several tactical treatises, Jaugirdus, a shrewd and brilliant advisor, and Minoris, thought by many to speak with the will of the gods. In a fierce competition with each other, our advisors parry and counterattack, engaging in a melee of oratory that would put the ancient bards to shame. As the hours drag on, it becomes clear that Jaugirdus and Gwen Tautus are in agreement that we must look to Istian lands for our next campaign. Minoris, however, believes strongly that the lands of Venetia are more suitable for Sporic rule. Well, I don't have a claim on Istia. I don't have a claim on their ally Galinda. Okay. And then what was the other one? Venetia? Yeah, Venetia. I don't have a claim on Venetia, so I could pick my target here. It may be smart to go with the 2, so I get more loyalty total. They're all clan chiefs, so all of their loyalty matters. Although, this one will keep me from having a disloyal chief for 5 years. Let's see here. Gwen Tautus would go down to, let's see, 47, 37. Probably will be lower because it always rounds in a weird way. This would give me a claim on Crononia. Okay, let's see. Show me the territory here. Okay, that's just their capital. Okay, and then what's the other one? Istia, Skiria. Right. Okay, so that's this here. Where's Istia's capital? Hold on. Oh, it's over here? That's so awkward. All right, well. Now, the funny thing is that either claim gets me into war against the other party and also the whole defensive league. Now, I think I looked at this last episode, but they have this kind of weird doubled-up relationship where Istia is allied with Galinda and in the league with Galinda, and then Venetia is allied with Veltia and in the league with Istia, Veltia, and Galinda, and also Ozia. So all of these former enemies have now all leagued up together, probably because of me. I think they've been watching the Sporia campaign on YouTube.com, and they know what I'm up to. Now, Ozia actually has an alliance with Carbonia as well. Wow, we've unified the Baltics with the power of fear of me. All right. As for who the better target is, I think it's pretty much the same. They each bring in the entire league, and their alliances are just internal league alliances. Which means it's just a loyalty question. This one would actively bring me down to 34. That's too low. We'll go with this one, get the claim on Venetia. Yeah, that's fine. Minoris speaks with clarity, we shall conquer Venetia. All right. Now, do I want to actually attack Venetia? Perhaps. I want to get Nuria's Verdant territory just to complete the Making Gains mission, then grab Consolidated Bessedia, then grab Favoritism, and then grab this. And I'd also like to grab Acquire Subcarpathia. Maybe I do a quick migration, actually. Oh, no, I shouldn't do that right now. Maybe I wait, actually. I do Triumph in Vestulia, but then I wait to finish until I grab this to get the extra PI. That's probably what I do. Okay, well, I could wait and so I could do a war with these guys and wait on Nuria to finish their war, but Nuria's probably going to finish their war soon. Nuria is really badly beating Borsynthia, though Nuria's capital is this port settlement with no fort, so that's not the best move, but Nuria's army, one of its armies at least, is right over here, so maybe it's fine. I think we just wait, honestly. I don't think I need to raise my army right this second. In fact, can I? Actually can. Oh my gosh, what? Where is my army? Oh, they're all in the south right now, that's right. Okay, something's a little off about this. Let's pull out the pop map mode here. I need to perhaps do a migration just to fix that. Although it doesn't matter a lot because my main chief will still lead the same number from both. Yeah, a lot of them are down here. Maybe I do actually set up a migration down here. You know what? I think I probably should. I think I just recently settled a bunch of migrators over here. I'm not actually sure why I have so many people over here. Okay, that's strange. I don't remember. I should have watched the last episode before I recorded this one. Okay, we definitely have too many people here. Oh, we got a bunch of freemen, that's right. We got that from a mission, I think. Right. Well, I definitely want to do a migration to turn them into tribesmen, so let's get organized. We have the money to do this right now. Let's get organized over here in Arsonis. So let's see here, we're at 13. Okay, what's our ratio? We've got 9 Weirasporks, so let's bring in, okay, 1, 2, 10, 11. This should be min-maxed. Okay, here we go. Let me actually see really quick, just out of curiosity. Can I do more than 20? No, it's just 20. That's what I thought would happen. I guess I could just do this and not resettle. Let's see if this works, actually, if it leaves behind. Although it might leave behind the Freeman, so let me send that guy back. Let's send him over here from Arsonis. There we go. Actually, I should have sent the slave. Do I spend 8 gold to fix that? No, I don't think I do. I like min-maxing, but even I have a limit. All right, here we go. Now this will bring us below 20 stability, which is not ideal, but I think this is probably worth doing all the same. So we're going to end up, let's see here. Where's my local information? Here it is. No, that's the whole province. That's not what I want. Pop info. Here it is. Okay. 55%. So we're going to get 45% efficient conversion and assimilation out of a possible, I guess, 49.9%. So that's pretty good. All right. Arsonis, up you go. Yep. Okay. Let me resettle one guy here. Okay. And now, as promised, 2 of you head over to Acrium, then 1 of you head over to Solumnus. Okay, where am I sending the rest of you? I think now that I am not dealing with any more uncolonized land to settle down here, we just move these guys up north again. Yeah, I think that's what we do. I could actually go and settle up here and border Ozia directly. I think it's probably worth doing. That's another 5 extra pops, which I can eventually migrate and turn into useful pops for me. So let me send up 5 migrators up to this area. May as well just go fill that in. The rest, I think I'm going to send over to the province the Bialystok is in, the Sporia province. Well, I could locate them somewhere a bit more strategic. Where is Rugia in? It is in the Venetia. Okay. I could settle them more like over here, in these provinces here, in preparation for them to take on, to settle Rugia once I am able to border it. Actually, I might be able to go over through the water. I don't know about that, actually. Maybe after I take Istia, then I deal with that. I think that'd be fine, actually. It's still in the region. That's what really matters. This feels weird to not put them somewhere more in, like, my core, but this is technically more efficient. All right. Let's see. Let me just send 2 of you to there. I can go through here? Oh, but what? Do I have access? Interesting. Okay, I guess. Oh, migrators ignore access. I forgot about that. Right. Okay, that's fine then. I completely forgot. All right. I'm just gonna shore up my local population around here just to be a bit safer from territory deletion. You know, the capitals especially. Here, just so they're in the area for ease. Eventually, I'll send units like that towards just general provincial capitals for that same purpose. But for now, I want to get them organized over here, around the middle areas of the Vistulia. All right, I think we're good to go now for being paused. We're basically just waiting for war with Nuria, which should honestly be pretty soon. Once this migration is done, we'll wait for our northern levy to reorganize, like get reconstituted. Then we'll get ready. All right, I think we're good to go. We did our Omen. We did our War Council. Anything else on the 10-year tick I need to do? I don't think so. I think we're good to go. Let's do it on speed 4. Oh, Borsynthia recovery? Interesting. Not for long. Look at that Nurian army. Yep. Some mercs back. That's nice. Okay. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Untiring devotion. Wise Butus Minbutitis is cultivating quite the reputation as a man of decency and honor. Such virtues give our citizens good reason to feel safe, secure, and stable. Extra stability. Thanks. I think having low stability should actually make civil war threshold lower, but that's just my personal take on that. I'm not going to complain that it's not in the game. An improved office. Our bodyguard, Saule Jaugerdaite, has asked for more funds for her office. With a larger fund, she would be able to do a better job for our nation. As one of the key players in the internal politics of the nation, we should seriously consider her value besides the office, as helping her out would secure her loyalty. That would make her an 11 martial character, which is quite nice. That's my manpower character. Okay, manpower recovery speed, I should clarify. Loyalty would be wasted. It's only for 5 years, actually. Nah, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it alone. All right. In we come. All right, there's acquire Subcarpathia complete. 15 PI for me, thank you. All right, population has been redistributed over here at least. I'll check my levy size once these guys finish getting it. Well, yeah, I'll keep waiting. Was that a Fazani trader? Am I trading with Fez? Huh? Wait, hold on. Am I reaching Africa? My goodness. All right, let's check that. Exports. Where's my furthest trade partner? Oh, hold on. Yep. There it is. I'm trading with Carthage. Interesting. Alright, I guess I do have pretty far diplomatic range. Let me check that really quick. Oh, yeah. I can't reach the southernmost parts of East Africa, on this map at least, or of the Arabian Peninsula, or anything past the Seleucids, or the sort of eastern steppes. But otherwise, by the way, now that I'm playing TI again, I can return to my favorites, Nightmare Fuel, which is checking out how good Chin is doing, and they're doing pretty good as usual. I'm really glad I'm not playing over here this time. At some point, I will reach them, but I'm not rushing to get there. Let's just say that. All right. Okay, Nuria is retaking this now. All right, so I can go to war with Nuria now if I want to, but I want to wait for these guys to get settled so I can get my larger levy size. They're really taking their time. Even without cities, I do still want to build roads once I have the technology to do so. It will make traversing around these Slavic woods a lot easier. Okay. And then I think it was 1. This was 2, yeah. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Some new territory. Let's wait for the tick, and then we'll take a look at our army situation. Okay, that's a bit more what I was expecting. I feel like I should I don't think these northern... Oh, the peace just got declared. Oh, Nuria just took a ton of stuff. Ooh. Okay, well, I definitely wouldn't want to fully annex Nuria now. I probably couldn't with the peace. Well, the peace still might allow me. I don't know if I could with the AE. I'd go over 50 for sure. I think I just want to go ahead and do a quick war. Quick by misadventure standards. A quick war for Verdant. Let me give it 1 more month in case these northern settlers, it's not calculated them in yet. We've seen it sometimes takes a couple months to fully recognize all the possible levy strength. Although it's only a few up here, so it may not really make a huge difference, but let's just give it this 1 more month. Also, Getia is claiming Bassetia. Uh-oh. Don't like that at all. Really? You are claiming Bassetia? Okay. Well, not exactly what I was hoping for. That's not going to make our relationship situation with them easier. Hopefully they still don't border me. Their march borders me, but they don't border me. So I think we should hopefully be fine. Let's just grab this and get our conflict with Nuria resolved really quick. Okay. Yeah, we'll just go with this. All right, where's my region split? It's over here. Not that they're gonna raise everywhere anyways. Let's just raise everyone. Wow, what's my terrain? It's just all forest over here. It doesn't matter. Get my... Actually, why am I raising them all down here? What am I doing? Amateur hour over here. All right, let's see. I think the plan is I make a mad dash for their capital. I think they're just going to raise... You know, actually, I think I did make the right call raising everyone down here. I think what I do... Oh, here's the rest of my forces. Let's gather everyone over here. Hopefully Nuria doesn't look over here. They may may ruin my surprise. Where's my cav? Oh, I don't have any cav that are under my main guy. Oh, come on. That's unfortunate. All right. Let's... There you are. You guys are gonna go try to run around in the north. Actually, hold on. So it's just that. Yeah, we have a few... This spot over here. And this is uncolonized. Okay, I can go through the uncolonized to hit and run. You go up here to start with. And go as a group of 3 just for safety. The rest of the cav can probably just stay with me, although I think what I'll do is have this group of 4 cav, the horse horde over here. You come here. Does Nuri have any Ooh, they are allied with Daunt's. That's new. I'm glad I checked that. Daunt's has a fort, alright. But that's all they really have. What's your... Wow. Nuria with the powerful alliances here. Very scary. I guess they could hire mercs. Daunt's is fully Scythia. Okay. I think what I do is I just need 1 territory. I think I go for a very shock and awe attack where I just like slam them with war score and get a peace deal as soon as possible. I don't really want a prolonged fight with Nuria. I beat Nuria, but it's not an easy fight. Like it's a more involved fight, and I don't want to get bogged down here when I have all these defensive leagues and alliances over here forming around me, trying to stop me from destroying them. You know, how dare they? Let's continue on at speed 3, get organized. I will wait for everyone to get here because I want all of my strength in as concentrated as possible. I think these guys are actually going to go to here, and then you guys go to here to then both power toward, because they're going to raise their tribal armies around their capital, most likely. Actually, hold on. They have a region split now. No, this won't have any levy at all. It's just going to be in Borcenthia. They do actually have a region split, but I don't think they're going to have anyone down here. Yeah, I don't think they're going to raise any levy at all from Scythia. It's just going to be their Borcenthian tribal levies. Oh boy. All right, what do we have here? Is the ignored character. Because he is, he's got power base because he's leading troops. Where are you? That wasn't actually what I wanted. Let's see here. You just have free hands, that's fine. I don't need troops walking around in ways I don't want right now. I feel like I've kind of created the like the border that was created by like the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. I mean, look at. I mean, it's a little too far, I think, to the east, but it's like basically around here, right? So this is hopefully the initial success of that campaign eastward is met in this context here without the later massive failure of that campaign. But yeah, and it's the same idea. Shock and awe situation. A loyal subject. Our ruler's efforts to influence Scourtautus Mantuiltitis are well underway. In a jovial mood, Scourtautus approached tribal chief Scourtus, suggesting that a formal declaration of his loyalty and commitment to the clan council would be a fine way of showing our appreciation. We remain unconvinced this is a politically sensible move. Ooh, I want the stability. This much PI is genuinely just not that useful because I'm not founding cities. I am spending PI on laws and spending it on migrations, but I just don't think I need, or not migrations, I'm spending stability on migrations. I'm spending PI on law changes as well as governor policy changes, but really I just need stability. Next time, perhaps. That's fine. All right, here we go. All right. We're ready to go. All right, Nuria. Time has come. Take Bessetia, and that's all we're taking. I pinky promise. Look at this. See this pinky? I'm extending it in promise to you all. I know every time I've ever in the past said I'm only taking one thing, I then am possessed by the spirits of greed and I take more. Not this time. I only am taking the one thing. Definitely won't take anything else. I just don't think I should take anything else in this context. This really should just be the one territory. Here we go. Take Bessetia. Alright. And it turned on our fort maintenance. That's fine. I'll have Fort Manus on for now. I'll try to remember to turn it off later. All right, here we go. All of you just power in towards the capital. You go in for safety like that. All right, let's go on speed 2. These are such large territories, probably speed 3 would be fine, but I want to be able to react when necessary. All right, already at the war goal. That's a good start. Now, I'm just not going to bother being worried about Donce anyways. Also, Nuria, no, this is a defensive war for them. They should be able to raise their levy automatically. Their cooldown should be refreshed, is what I should really say. They just might not be choosing to raise their levy for some reason. Oh, how much pop is here? Please. Please. Okay. Oh my god. If I had depopulate, I would be able to repopulate it just fine, but it would have been annoying for the war. Okay, that's super lucky. All right, you guys power along to there. And you guys actually, let's see, head, no, you back up for now. Oh, maybe I saw their fleet moving around. I think I saw their army as well, but their army is definitely not 14.5k strong. At least I don't think it should be. I think we should be fine. Okay, good. You guys, let's see, continue along the river. You guys stay here. I'm gonna be a bit more aggressive, I think. All right, there's some of their forces. Okay, it's good to see. All right, sue for peace. Easy as that. All right, do I want to do anything more in this war? Not really. I could take a few slaves, but I don't think that's necessary. I think I just take the steel. Yeah, I haven't even fully taken this yet, and this is already enough. But I mean, this would kind of be good. For the amount of AE I get from this, I don't think this would be worth it, to be honest. Maybe Donce being a tributary would be worth it. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to take this deal. This is the deal that I said I would take. We're taking this deal, and we're leaving Nuria to have fun over in Borcenthia. Not for me. Not right now. Here we go. Okay, the Balto-Slavic regional power of Nuria accepts her generous peace offer. Nurian Besetia to Sporia. Look at that. I have successfully, in a moment of unthinkable restraint, not tried to fully annex a large neighbor and destroy my diplomatic situation when I had the opportunity. Unbelievable. All right. Besetia gains occupation welcomed for 20 years. Besetia gains Workers Unite, or the province of Besetia, that's the whole province, for 10 years. Favoritism. Yep. Hold on. Huh? Okay, that's fine. Triumph in Vistjulia. Solitarium becomes a city? Not for long. Okay, I will have to spend the tyranny immediately to get rid of that, but let's go ahead and grab this now. It also will get the modifier Triumph for 10 years, and Saula will get 1 charisma. Not going to help her too much, but I guess it's nice for her to have that. The coming of the city of Solitarium. Our extension of new privileges and investment into the local infrastructure have seen Solitarium grow from relative humility into a true sporic city. We don't like that in this campaign. While it still has some way to go before it can rival the great cities of our age, the past years have ushered in a new era of growth and urbanization in this territory. These are the best of times. No, these are not the best of times. Get out of here. I am revoking. Look at this beautiful new interface for TI. 2.5 tyranny. Back down you go. Don't even think about it. You are a settlement, and that is what you shall remain. All right. Do we lower, or do we just go straight to war in the west? All right. Let's take a look. I mean, it probably would make sense to just go to war with our army raised now. What are you guys doing here? Got mercs? Whose mercs are these? Oh, of course. Someone really far away. Okay, let's see. My claim is on Venetia, so I'd have to target them. So they would bring in, let's count, Galindia, they'd bring in Aestia, they'd bring in Veltia, and they'd bring in Osea. So they'd just bring in everybody. Okay. That's a pretty big war. But it's only big geographically. Let's look at how big it is demographically. So we're looking at, this is what really matters. What? Huh? Excuse me, Imperator Rome? How does addition work? We've got ourselves Schrodinger's Twistic Vandalic. He's in the demographics, but he's also not. Non-Euclidean Vandals over here. All right. I don't know what to make of that, but at least we know that these guys are going to be counting the Aestians. So we've got 19, we've got, let's see here, 23, 33. Oh, it'd be Fennec? Okay, 33, 40, 3 and 2 is 5, 45, 85. Okay, I'm already starting to be a little not sure about this. 10 is 95. Wow, 100 and let's round it to 130. So maybe I don't actually. You know what? Not yet, actually. To their credit, these Wayra guys, all the remaining, well, I guess these guys are Ilmaric, but everyone else in my region have actually successfully deterred me through the power of diplomacy. Consider me deterred. I don't want to actually fight this defensive league quite yet. I could bring in a friend. Who would I want to bring into this? Probably someone in the north to distract Osea. Osea is not going to have any of their Fennec pops because they're Finns down here. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can just check that right now. Yeah, they're not going to raise anyone down here. With Osea distracted, I do feel confident in fighting everyone else, because Osea is the most powerful of these guys in the league. Now, they're actually allied with Carbonia, so I'd have to, but I'm not declaring on them, so they're not going to call in Carbonia, because they're joining as a league summon, a league called Arms, not an alliance called Arms, so I don't think they can call in Carbonia. But Carbonia won't, if I ally Carbonia, they won't join me against, well, they might actually. I think they wouldn't. I think if I remember, the AI recognizes when a call to arms for an ally where they'd end up fighting a league partner, because league partners are called in automatically. I think they would refuse. But Kairotia would, they have no alliance with Osea, but they are currently fighting Androphagia. Androphagia might actually be the ally for me, honestly. Who are they currently fighting? They're fighting Salia and Keratoria. Okay. Who's going to win this war up here? It's looking kind of rough for Androphagia. Okay, I think the Northerners are just kind of out of the picture here. Maybe I bring in an ally. Maybe I bring in a German ally? Gathonians, perhaps? Oh my god, look at this population. Get your pop-up, Germans. Get it together. Alright, Rugians are a little better. How about further over here? Semnonia? Not really. Oh my god, where is everyone? Come on. There's barely anyone over here. Alright, that's pretty rough. Maybe I bring in someone over here. I could bring in Burgundia. Or no, I already looked at Burgundia. Helizia is a little bit better. I don't think I bring in an ally. I think my days of relying on allies are over. I think I go to war against the Westerners, maybe with a Merc stack helping me out. I could certainly afford it. Speaking of which, let me, actually, what's my cooldown? 4 months? Oh yeah, that's fine. 9.26, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. And in this war, what would my goals be? I think one of my main goals is actually to kick Osea out of Venetia. I want to grab this stuff up here, and this stuff too. And ideally this stuff over here. Just get Osea firmly back into Hyperborea, where they belong. And maybe also try to grab all of Veltia. Then I could actually go to war against the League again with my same claim against Venetia after the truce. I mean, I could probably grab more than this, actually, with the number of... I think the number of combatants may increase the peace deal scale. I don't remember how this works. But this is a pretty big war. And I think I can handle it on my own if I get mercs, too, which I can afford for sure. I do have a few merc stacks around here that could definitely help out. Any mercs with interesting composition, though. Let's see what we're up against. Archers light cav, spearmen light infantry. That's just my composition as well. Yeah, I think everyone in this war would have the same. Let's just double check that, though. Okay. Pretty much. A bit more light infantry in some of these guys. Alright, let's see. Recruitable, not employed, not hostile. Okay, horse archers are countered by war elephants. We're not going to see any of them up here, and camel cav, as well as light cav. Interesting. I feel like horse archers should actually counter light cav, but okay, I don't. I'm not, in fact, a horse archer in real life, so who am I to say? Let's see. Heavy cav in this one here. Interesting. Heavy cav's only countered by spearmen and war elephants, but I'm not worried about the war elephants part. What's my spearmen ratios around here? Quite a bit of spearmen, in fairness. But heavy cav is really good otherwise, and most of these guys are probably... I think spearmen is one of the less common... No, 30% though. What's my own levy look like? It's mostly light infantry, and then spearmen's like the second most common. Yeah, heavy cav merc stack might not be worth the extra cost, because they are more expensive. I mean, some of these are just really large. I don't think I need a force this big. I kind of just need a small force to supplement me, and I may not even really need that. Really, here's the key advantage I have in this conflict. Here, actually, you know, hold on. I don't even need to do all this calculation right now. All I need to do is migrating, is do some migrations. I'm already at 115. What did I count them at? 125? Or 125, 130? I think I can actually, like, close the gap with some more migrating. I just have to find where to do it. All right, let's... And I want to migrate more northward, sort of like what I was doing before. Let's continue moving people from Vistula into Venetia. Maybe even to the same areas to prep for moving into these areas to take over their territory. All right, let's check that now. I could probably do that now, actually. All right, we do have a few people over here. Yeah, from our earlier migrations. Oh, we got a lot to work with here. Let's do this over here. All right, so let's set it up in Riparum, which is 6. Actually, do any of you have a lot of non-tribesmen? Hold on. Wasn't a place over here got a lot of non-tribesmen? Maybe that was the place over here. It must have been, actually. Yeah, okay. Let's go to Riparum. Set this up here, I think. Okay. Yeah, Castrana has 6 as well, but Riparum is in a slightly better spot. Okay. Into Riparum. So what do we have here? 3-way Resporic for now. So let's move in. 1, 2, 3. 4. Move slaves first and foremost. 5, 6. Any other way Resporic slaves? Nope. Actually, yes. 7. 8, 9, 10. 11. Okay. Now we just need to move in other types, especially slaves. Focus on slaves. Until we get to... Actually, we just need one more now. Okay. That's 20. Where Resporic is still the total number here. 3.2 or 3.20 stability, but we have 30 right now, so this is fine. And with our AE, it's good to get ride the trend a little bit. Here we go. Okay. One of you resettle it. Okay. I'm gonna send... I'm actually gonna send some of you... We already have quite a few people over here. I'm gonna continue putting people into these territories over here to prep them for because I'm gonna do a migration over here and a migration over here with the new population I get from the war. That's the plan. So I'm just gonna have you guys get split up. So we got 2, 4, 3, 1. Let's start with that. 2. Okay. 4. Actually, what am I doing? I don't need to do it by... I'm a dingus. I don't need to actually have it match because I'm not taking land. I'm just adding more people. Let's just add them evenly to each territory. Let's add 2 here. Add 2 up here. Let's add 2 up here. I missed that spot there. 2 over here. Okay. Here. Here. Then I think I'm going to send the other 3 over to Bialystok. Yeah. I kind of want to move the capital soon, but I should fortify this if I'm going to do that. It is on the border with Nuria, which I should never overlook. Should I make the capital some other spot? I like the idea of having Sporia, the province, be the capital province. With no cities, it doesn't matter if it's like... In fact, it's actually better if it's not on the water, because I can't have a port and a fort until I have the tech for 2 settlement buildings per territory. So I think Bialystok is what I want to settle on here. Plus, I've planned my fort coverage kind of around it, so yeah. I'm going to have to... I think I will keep Orisia as the fort location up here. I'm going to move this, and then I'll have to move this one around when I get the territory, so we'll worry about that later. But yeah, I'm going to save up PI for this, I think. So let's move them to Bialystok for now. Actually, I've already done that. Okay, let's continue. Whew. All right. Trying to keep things under control with Getia, but we'll see if I can successfully do that or what. Alright. Should I build a fort in Bialystok now? I think getting this going is not the worst idea. I think I'm going to commit. I'm going to commit to Bialystok as the capital. It's at least going to be the provincial capital, which I can move even if I don't make it the national capital. Alright, let's do it. I could get stone for that, but it's fine. That's a level of building min-maxing I just don't think I need to worry about right now with my economy. Plus, I'm worried about losing out on dates, which are kind of rare if I go off of them, so I'm going to keep them from Egypt as much as I can here. Speaking of which, oh, I shouldn't have looked. Let's not look at how Egypt is doing for my mental health. Probably better not to. Alright. Nuria's pretty upset. Wonder why. Oh, Dacian Levy. That's from the region of Dacia. Okay. That's fine. Did I not send someone here? Oh, maybe I did. It's no big deal. Okay. Once these guys fully settle, we should see a few more Levy units on our side. It may take a few months to fully update, but it does ultimately update, which, as we've seen. Okay, almost there. I think it's so funny that my score is just always at 0. It's like, come on. I don't know about that. That doesn't seem fair, but I think it may just linearly calculate centralization into score. It doesn't say that it does that, but it sort of seems like that might be why my score is just at 0 at all times. Okay. 21. Let's wait for the end of the month and see how things are looking. Still, okay. 41 levies total is better than I had before, and more of it's in the Venetia region, which I like. How are you looking? Looking fine, okay. Okay. Is there any chance that they add one more person to the league? If they add one more person, I might hesitate. I don't think they're adding the Germans in, but they did add the Finns in, and these guys are not Balto-Slavic. But Ozia has, now at this point, 11 years of mostly war interactions, but also other diplomatic interactions with the Baltic area, so I don't know exactly how this came to be, but I don't think this league is likely to include the Gothonians or the Burgundians. It might include Carbonia, and that could definitely make me hold off, but I don't think so. Most of the league's members are too far away, and I don't think Carbonia feels a lot of diplomatic interest in the league's concerns. At this point, my armies are ready. Economically, I guess the question is, do I want to wait until I hire mercs and like bring them in? I don't know. I think the war goal is going to mainly be getting basically getting control of the northern part, so getting Chasinia and getting Turentia. If I can get these two provinces, that would be kind of the smaller scale, or kind of the initial goal of the war. Of course, I'd like to get more, but getting all of Crononia and Skiria all in one go would be a lot, and getting Rugia as well. Oh, man. Well, getting Rugia just really means getting one more territory, the Vis-Juliana territory. I think peace deal-wise, I'd be able to get all of that. I'd go over 50 AE for sure, but at that point, my main concern will basically be more defensive leagues or like alliance networks opposing me, Getia deciding to fight me. I might be able to get to keep that under control. I'm still nervous about Scythia, but I'm giving them a lot of space. And the other big powers in the steppes are kind of preoccupied. I think this is probably doable. I think at least I want to go for the northern territories, if not all of it. But I'm going to contemplate this more and start making my moves on the next episode of the Sporia campaign. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.